everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Brotherhood. I'm Ryan, this is Fishing Planet, and happy Saturday to you all, or let me just say happy Father's Day. I know Father's Day technically is tomorrow, but tomorrow's video is already up and posted and ready to go, and it's a sailing video, and it didn't feel like, especially not me and my dad, that a sailing video would be the way that I'd want to say happy Father's Day. Sailing is not something my dad was ever interested in. But I learned everything I know about fishing from him, and I'm still learning. So I'm thankful to still have my daughter is what I started to say. I'm still thankful to have my dad with me, even though I'm 37, and my dad is only in his low 60s, 62, I think now. Yeah, he's not retired yet. So I'm still thankful for that. Actually, I'm only 36. I said 37, didn't I? Oh, not till August, buddy. So I'm still learning from my dad on fishing and how to fish and what it means to be outdoors. It took me a long time for me to figure out fishing. When I was a kid, it wasn't something I necessarily wanted to go do. Until, oh, there it is. There it is. A lot like my own kids now. They're not really interested now, but I'll make them go anyway. I just remember thinking, man, what? It's so boring. You can't even see what your bait is doing. Oh, there's a fish. And my dad was like, I know, that's part of it. I mean, if you could see what your bait is doing, it'd be way too easy, wouldn't it? Something hit that like a freight train. So let's hope we get whatever it is in. It's the unknowing which makes it exciting, because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what's going to come out of the water. You never know. You're doing your best dance per se. That wasn't a bad fish. It wasn't as impressive as I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't bad. You're doing your best dance per se. You got your bait down there doing what it needs to do. And you don't even know if it has an audience or not. I mean, you can guess there's a fish down there. You can presume. Oh, I don't know. That was weird. Was it snagged? I didn't see the snag alert, but I actually looked over at my OBS as soon as that happened. You don't know that there's something. You can guess there's fish down there. You can presume there's fish down there, but you don't really know there's any fish down there until it hits your line. So you've always kind of got to be ready. You've always kind of got to be prepared. You've always got to kind of be paying attention and always be doing your best work, because you never know who's really watching. And that was a nice metaphor for life. It really was. And then basically it just expressed sort of his interest in the sport was the ability to outsmart Mother Nature, like to take a fish that's been born and bred to do its thing, and then find a way to manipulate its own instincts against it. Now, and again, I know I've said this before, but let me reiterate a little bit for anybody who's new here. Like, we was fishing specifically for the sport of it. We didn't eat a whole lot of the fish we ever caught. I mean, we just caught and released, so we can catch them again the next time, which to me it's just, I don't know, it's just the way that fishing works. Oh, there's a fish. Come on, set the hook. Set the hook. Okay. And we didn't do a lot of bait fishing. A lot of lure fishing is what we would do. We had a bass boat growing up that was older than the other ones, but I mean, it did its job. Actually, the first bass boat my dad had was, or the first bass boat that I was alive when he had was an old blue Monarch with a 50 horse Johnson on the back. Now, if you knew anything about the Monarchs, the one he had, I don't know if they all were that way or not, but it didn't have a steering wheel. I can remember that was like a source of great anxiety for me. Like, all the other boats I see have steering wheels. This must mean we're not as good as them or whatever. But no, really, what it was it would have like it had like a rudder handle essentially on the side. So you would sit up front like at the casting deck. You had the throttle on one hand, so so it's almost like piloting a. Now that I think about it, it's almost like piloting like a airplane fighter or jet fighter or whatever. Because you'd have your throttle on one side, and then you'd have a long pole on the other. Push it forward, and the boat would turn right. Pull it back, and the boat would turn left. So, I don't know. It was just it was interesting. It was like a. It's more. It has probably more in common with like the boats of the past than what the steering wheel stuff did. She had sort of that rudder, almost like a rudder handle that you have on a sailboat. But it wasn't a sailboat, obviously. It was a bass boat. But it made it nice because there was no part of the boat you couldn't fish from. You know, whether you were down in the bottom, in the middle, you didn't have to cast around the steering wheel or anything like that. Whether you were in the back, obviously, that's not a problem fishing from the back of the boat, which is where the kids always had to fish from. And if you were my dad, then you were sitting, you weren't up on top like a casting deck like you see today on today's bass boats. You weren't sitting up on top looking down the water. You were standing in the boat. But there was really no fear of you falling out or anything because you were kind of in there. But everything was wide open because you would just lay the rudder down. It was down out of the way, and then obviously your throttle box. It was like most of the throttle boxes. It was just sitting there. It was down by your knees or whatever. She's casted right over that stuff. And in the middle, as I'm thinking about it, it's becoming a little clearer to me now. There was a rod locker on the left side, which could serve as like a bench seat. And then there was a live well on the right side, which is where my brother would always sit. I'd always sit in the back in that seat. My dad would sit up front. My brother would sit either on the live well or down in the belly of the boat between the live well and the rod locker. Yeah, I mean, I probably gave that boat way too much grief when I was a kid. And at some point, he upgraded to 50 horse to a stronger motor because then he could start, when we go camping for weeks at a time or whatever, he could use the old boat to tow us around on a tube or even let my brother ski from the back of it. And then at some point growing up, he sold the Monarch and got a low. Is that what it is? A low? Just a low boat? It's an aluminum bottom boat. Which is kind of almost a requirement for where we were camping and stuff if you didn't want to take the boat out every time because we got real rocky, sandy shores. See, I've been playing too much PUBG there. The steps behind me scared me a little bit. So you would need that aluminum boat so that you could get park the boat on the shore without fear of tearing up your fiberglass bottom. He still has that boat today. It's aluminum, so it's lightweight, so it goes pretty quick, regardless of the size of the engine on the back. And it's got a casting deck and all that stuff. It's not bad. Now the only boat I've ever had was a sailboat. It was a 16-foot Luger Leeward that I had bought as a wreck and repaired and sailed around our local reservoir for a couple of years before I realized it was too small for my family and somebody was willing to give me more money than I deserved for it, and I let them have it. So I'm hoping to get a pontoon here in the next few years. That's the plan as the kids get a little older and the idea of vacations become too expensive. We use that vacation fund to pay for a boat. Actually, there's a little series of events that need to take place first. First, I need to upgrade my Tahoe. Which I have a Tahoe, so it's not a small truck at all, but it's got 180,000 miles on it because I used to commute back and forth about an hour away from work or from my home. Now I only drive an hour or a mile to work at the school I'm currently teaching at, which makes it phenomenal, a little over a mile. So I've put less miles in the last 3 years than what I did in 1 year at my old job. Nice fish. So I'm hoping to get a pontoon, put a rod locker on it, and use it as a bass boat / family boat. I'm not sure. Obviously, bass boat would be nice, but got to make some compromises in this life. And I wouldn't want to buy a boat just for myself. That's what my dad and my brother did. That's okay. They're dads. They can do what they want. I just choose to do it differently. Take a drink of coffee. Yeah, I don't know. I just think pontoon would be nice. You know, you can have more people out on it. It's more stable. You get a nice enough pontoon, or even just a regular pontoon. You can tow tubes and stuff behind it. Maybe you can't ski behind it unless you get one of those extreme pontoons, which is not what I was planning on doing. But my kids ever want to go water skiing, we got more than enough friends that's got those kind of boats. But none of my friends have a pontoon. So if we need a boat to put in the center of our little floating party barge, well then I would have one to do that. But we'll see. We've got to get the wife convinced first off that camping is a worthwhile activity, to be honest. Because right now it's just the kids and I who go. Oh, that's nice. A little bluegill. She's not a big camper. Maybe that's what I should do for Father's Day. Is just say, I want you to come camping with us. That's what I want for Father's Day. But she doesn't have the same summer schedule that the kids and I do. Obviously, she has a real job. Not that I don't have a real job, but teachers do have it nice to have summers off with kids. And by summers off, it means I still have to work next week. And I've got plans to do some other stuff, especially with the my YouTube teaching channel. I just got my nose I sniffed something on my nose that hurt. I don't know what that was. Just a weird fiery pain in my nose. Oh well, my body will take care of it. It's like I need to blow my nose. Anyway, Father's Day. Let's see here. What's some good suggestions for Father's Days? Take it from me as a father. What do I want for Father's Day? Not much really. I think dads are pretty easy. Always used to infuriate me, my father. He's the worst person to give gifts to because he doesn't ever care. And now that I'm a dad, I'm the same way. It's annoying. I try not to be that way, so when my kids give me something, I always try to make sure that they know how appreciative I am. Another bluegill? And how thankful I am. No, caught him right off there. But I'm done giving my dad gifts. I will give him the same thing I've given him the last few times, which is this ginormous dustpan, which is a whole nother story. You ever seen like push brooms, like the big push brooms, like a janitor would use, maybe, or a custodian would use, or you would use like out in a shop or out in your garage or whatever. You know, I got one. Every dad probably has one. Sweep off the porch, sweep out the garage with it. Well, my dad is a sort of in his advanced age. Wasn't like this when I was a kid, I don't think. But as he's gotten older, sort of like his empty nest syndrome has turned into like this weird clean freak. And he like cleans his garage and his porch and his deck all the time. And he uses a leaf blower a lot, but then he also uses a big old push broom. Well, I was at the hardware store one day a couple of years ago. And right out front, they had these ginormous, like, I think they're called like bulldozers. These ginormous push broom dustpans. You know what I mean? Because normally what you do, you use your push broom, you get it into a big pile, then you have to go get a smaller broom and a dustpan, and you have to use the smaller broom to brush it up. I thought, well, heck, if I could just eliminate a step, especially considering how bad his hips and knees are, you know, because he's had a couple hip replacements, and he's got a knee replacement, and he's just in a lot of pain a lot of times. Bending over and stuff like that is not good for him. So I thought, well, if I can eliminate how many times he has to bend over to do the same job, well, that would be a really thoughtful, nice gift. Well, I handed it to him. I even got him a Bass Pro gift shop, Bass Pro gift card, and I taped it to the dustpan. Well, he didn't even look to see that there was a gift card on there before he started complaining about the stupid dustpan. I mean, like, complained hard about it. Like, He ended up giving it to my son, saying, "Hey, if you can talk your dad into turning this in, then you can have whatever. You can have the $8 it's worth." Which it was, the money doesn't matter, but it was worth more. It would cost me more than $8 to buy. So I finally took the gift card off, handed it back to him. Said, "Here, this was actually on there if you'd pay attention." So he was thankful for the gift card, and he bought. I don't know. He texted me a picture or whatever of what he bought with the gift card, which I think was just, he used it to help pay for a new rod or something. Hey, oh wow, a trophy, 37 XP. If we could just catch those all the time, we'd be done. But he texted me what he got with the gift card, which was nice. And so for the last few years, like he'll I don't know if he can tell it made me mad or what, that he was so ungrateful for what I thought was a pretty thoughtful gift. He'll send me pictures of the dust pile and be like, "If I just kept your gift, I'd been done by now." And I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." So I gave it like I wrapped it back up and gave it to him for Christmas. Then he acted like he was thankful. Then I took it back, and then for his birthday I did the same thing. And then for Father's Day, I don't know, I'll probably let him just keep it this time. But it's become a running joke for me to bring in this big ginormous gift wrapped dustpan. So I don't know, but I totally get, because this is like, is it like I told my wife, I said I'd take tools this year. Like I could always use more tools. Over the years I've lost a socket or two, and I always have to end up digging for an extra. And if I could just get new tools, then I'll be honest, I would throw my old tools away. Because the tools I got when I got married. My in-laws gave me this like starter set of tools, which is phenomenal, which was a great gift. But like, we've been married 10 years now, and I've used those tools almost daily, it feels like. I was fixing the chair in the house yesterday, fixing a dryer vent the day before. I've used those tools, but like they're missing so many pieces, and there's so many like I've broken the socket wrench, or broken both socket wrenches, the quarter and the half socket, or is it a quarter and an eighth socket? I'm not sure, but I've broken both the socket wrenches. They just fallen apart in my hand. The big one was when I was putting together the swing set, and that was like 8 years ago. The small one lived until just this past month here, when I was changing the brakes on the van. It came apart in my hand, and then so like I've got a couple other like smaller sets that I've just scrounged through the years, or went and bought. I just, nice tool set would do really nicely. But like ties, I don't want clothes. I don't want or need clothes for the most part. Maybe socks. I'll take some socks. I don't think I have enough small white socks. But I mean, I bought my own shoes here recently, and bought my own clothes. I get most of my clothes from online anymore. Just have it mailed to my house, and I wear what I have. I'm not too particular about the style or the fashion or the cut, as long as it fits. I told her, I said, we want to take the kids to go see movies, so just have the kids give me movie money. You know what I mean? Have them get me movie money, and then I can use the movie money to take the kids and everybody to see the money or the movie. It'd be like paying ourselves. It's just buying our tickets in advance, essentially. Oh man, he was coming after it. I need to do better about pausing that right before I pull it out of the water. But I mean, Starbucks cards are nice. I use those quite a bit. I get a lot of those from the students. I appreciate those. Taking everybody out to eat is nice. Pizza King, which is a pizza place there in Indiana. Someplace like that. Just, really thoughtful student got me some caffeine and got me a Disney card there at the end of the school year, and I really appreciated that. That was really nice. We used that. But I mean, like, for the most part, like, Father's Day's, anytime you're giving a man a gift, it ends up being complicated, because we don't, and I say we, I'm talking for all men here, we don't necessarily show a lot of our feelings. Like, we're thankful, and maybe inside we want to be like, oh yeah, woohoo, thank you so much. But that's just not how we're supposed to behave. You know what I mean? It's just, it ends up, or at least, again, it's Father's Day. So that's not how my dad taught me to behave. Right or wrong, it's just not the way that it works. So I don't know if it's good or for bad, but just find something that your dad can use, I guess. And don't have too many expectations on how they're going to behave when you hand it to them. And then I think you'll be okay. Like I can say this for dads and all dads that I know. What all dads want is that for kids just to make good choices. Just make good choices. Tell them that you love them, even if they're not super comfortable with it. Tell them that you love them. Tell them thanks. You know, being a parent's hard, mother or father. Tell them thanks for being your mom or dad. And let them be right. There you go. You can let them be right. That's a good gift. I have to do that for my dad a lot. Anytime we talk about Cubs baseball, I just have to be quiet and let him be right, because he's most of the time not going to be, but it turns into an argument if I say something. So, and I always tell this to the kids in my classroom: if your parents have like an anniversary, and I'm talking to my younger viewers here. If your parents and older viewers, if you have kids or whatever, or members, I don't say viewers, let's say members. Older members, if lodge members, if you think I'm right here, let us know in the comments. But here's what I always tell the kids in my classroom. I said, if your parents have a birthday, or your parents have, it's Mother's Day or Father's Day or whatever, the best gift you can give them, just for a little bit, is to intentionally leave them alone and then stick to it. To look at them square in the eye and say, Mom, Dad, we'll say Dad because it's Father's Day. Dad, I love you. Thanks for being my dad. For your father's gift today, I'm going to take myself and my little sister into my room, and we're not going to come out for 2 hours. We're going to play. We're going to be quiet. We're going to have fun. We're not going to destroy my room. We're just going to watch a movie in my room, or we're going to watch a movie, on whatever. We're going to play outside for 2 hours. We're not going to ask you for anything. We're not going to fight for 2 hours. You can do whatever you want with that time. Just basically, because a lot of parents, kids definitely don't realize this. Parents don't really have time. Time is the one thing that we don't have enough of. And it's because we want to be good parents. We want to focus our energy on each other, husband and wife, essentially. We want to focus our energy on kids enough to make sure that they're not, burning the house down. But then we also need to provide, we got to work. Now, I might be the exception, as I am a parent who just spent the last 20 minutes recording a fishing video for YouTube. But that's how I choose to spend my 20 minutes. As soon as I get off here, we're going to clean the house. I got to make lunch. I got to fold laundry. But I'm, a lot of times too, I don't do this stuff during the day. I do it at night once everybody's asleep. So I pay for it that way. But hey, while I was talking about all of this, we ended up catching almost 12 pounds of fish. If we can catch one more here, we will have caught 12 pounds of fish. So if you like what you saw here today, or if you like Father's Day, I'll use that. Or use anything here we talked about maybe resonated true for you, then by all means hit that like button so other people know that this is a good video and they should check us out too. And if you'd like to become a member of the Lodge, not a viewer, a member of the Lodge, and join us here every day for videos. That's the goal here, every day in 2017. Make new videos every day. If you'd like to join us, then hit that subscribe button and you can become a Lodge member yourself and be notified when new videos become live, which they do each and every day. Fishing Planet every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. You're watching this on a Saturday. There'll be a new Fishing Planet video on Monday. We'll be in New York all next week, so make sure you come back and check that out. We've got a goal of still trying to hit level 22. We've got to catch bigger fish. We were doing much better when we were catching the big catfish in North Carolina than what we've been doing here in Texas, which is fine. But caught almost $1,000 worth of fish. That works. So if you want to hit that subscribe button, by all means hit that subscribe button. I'm no longer using this. I'm going to let it rest for a little bit, but it's going to cost us, look at this, $10,000 to repair, so we're not going to repair it yet. But we will repair it before too long, just because it's too nice to not have fixed. We don't want it to break for good at all. So, what did I say it all? Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to become a member of the lodge and help us get our goal of 100 subscribers or 100 members before July. And then, hang out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.